Supreme Magus, Chapter 87, Homecoming. Since Lid had been officially admitted at the White Griffin Academy, the lives of the inhabitants of the village of Lutia had become easier and safer, especially for Nana. When news spread that the village was the birthplace of a mage, nobles had become friendlier, avoiding to break the law or cause any trouble. Even passing merchants would be more likely to offer discounts, no more harassing the local smiths. The usual crowd of rogues and troublemakers that usually hanged around the tavern during the night had turned meek or left altogether. Of course, such behavior didn't come from the goodness of their hearts, nor from the fear of the youth that maybe in the future would become a great mage. Everyone knew he was away, and it would take no less than 2 years for him to return. The reason for such a sudden change of heart depended by the fact that those who didn't behave had made a strange habit of disappearing without traces, killed themselves leaving behind a suicide note confessing their crimes, or simply died in accidents. What everyone but Nana ignored was that a mage's birthplace was his starting fief. Being lit evaluated as a rank A student, one of the Queen's personal units was constantly monitoring the village, weeding out problems in the bud. They had no way of distinguishing a simple criminal from someone that either by his own will or because manipulated was attempting to harm Slid's family. Most importantly, they did not care. As soon as someone was identified as a potential threat, even if the investigations gave no results, they would get rid of the problem just to be on the safe side. The Queen kept them updated on Lid's performance and potential, stressing the importance of giving him no further reason to resent the Griffin Kingdom and defect. After the results of the mock exam, it was only because of Duke Hestia's compliance towards the school rules, leaving his daughter alone in hot waters and not trying to take revenge, that he barely managed to keep his dukedom and his neck. Based on what her contacts had told Nana, once Lid's talent had been recognized by Manoir himself, both the court and the Mage Association had taken to heart his well-being. For Nana, it meant the chance to keep a big price on her services, despite having nothing more to do outside her role of a healer. Oh ho ho! She laughed, enjoying another sunny morning. Who would have thought that helping that young spirit of your brother could bring the new heyday of my life? It never been so peaceful in years. How could my little brother have anything to do with it? Tista chuckled while using chore magic to clean the room. Nana shook her head. Tista, my girl, you outshine your brother in many things. Looks, kindness, bedside manners. There are just 2 things that you should really take from him. One is talent. What about the other? Despite having learned spells up to Tier 3, Tista had still no idea how Lid had managed to cure her. She could only explain it with an abysmal gap in their gift for magic. No, I will never criticize someone about something innate. I was talking about being cynical and practical. You are too naive for your age. If your brother was here, he would look at me with his soul-chilling glare, make a couple of questions to which I would answer enigmatically, and I'm sure he would understand what I mean. He doesn't have a soul-chilling glare, Tista rebuked her mentor. He is the most loving and caring little brother one could ask for. Nana scoffed. because he always treated you like a precious gem. Try asking your future brother-in-law what does he think about it. And when you do, look him straight in the eyes and don't let him change the subject. Tista was about to rebut when the door of the home office opened. Both the women turned their heads, discovering that he wasn't a patient. Lit had returned. "Little bro!" Tista welcomed him with a warm hug. "You haven't changed at all." He held her tight, wishing he could kiss her on the head, but she was 7 centimeters taller than him. "I went away for a month, not a year. Or did you expect me to come back scared from the battlefront?" "Meanie!" She pushed him away with a fake rage, giving a small punch on his shoulder. "Thanks for everything you did for me, Master Nana. I wouldn't be in the academy without you." Lit hugged his old mentor too. Nana enjoyed the embrace for a moment, asking herself if it hadn't been a mistake choosing to not have children. After her fall from grace, she had withdrawn, avoiding any meaningful relationship to not get hurt again. Maybe it was just the old age, or maybe hanging with those two little brats had cracked her armor. In any case, it was too late. "Why are you wasting time with this old bat?" Nana scolded him, poking him on the head with her walking cane. "Your parents are worried sick about you. Tista, you can have the rest of the day off. Bring him home. Use force if you must." Tista giggled, taking her brother's arms before leaving. "Someone feels clingy today. Since when do you like getting spoiled?" Lit laughed at the affectionate gesture. "Since ever the—" During their walk, Lit noticed many youths suddenly changing direction or crossing the road. Between her beauty, her status, and income as the future healer of the village, Tista was one of the most coveted maidens. Very few cared about the fact that she was still 2 years from the marrying age. Before Lit's departure, most were too scared to approach her. He had killed men at the age of 6, a magical beast at 8, and was infamous for being overprotective of his family. While mothers and girls praised, struck fear in the hearts of the suitors that now believed to finally have free hand with her. "Is there someone in particular bothering you?" Tista made one of her radiant smiles that could lit up a room. "No, thanks. I can defend myself. Besides, they are harmless." "Are you sure?" "Accident happened. You just have to say the word." Solus jolted. Despite the casual tone and his bright smile, he wasn't joking at all. Tista didn't notice and laughed at the joke. "Speaking of accidents, the village lately had become real quiet. I fear that after you left, brigands would attack as soon as Nana left the village. Instead, the whole region has never been so safe in years." Lit raised an eyebrow in disbelief. It didn't make any sense until he remembered Lincho's words. "I had almost forgot my family is under surveillance. I must be careful not to be followed when I perform my experiments." Since they spoke on daily basis with the communication amulet, Tista asked him why he had disappeared in the last 3 days. Lit told her everything about the mock exam, leaving her in awe. 5 mages fighting together against evil magical beasts? What an experience! I bet you look like the heroes of the stories that always told us when we were little. Magical beasts are not evil. Some are good, others bad, just like humans. And we didn't look like heroes, more like scared teens. Plus, I'm terrible with people, and you know it. Have you not been listening? Or are you just trying to flatter me?" Tista punched his arm again in reply. When they arrived home, Lid noticed that the cultivated fields were bigger than he remembered. There were farm hands helping their parents. Now that all their kids had become independent, Elena and Raz had decided to expand the family business. When they saw him, they ran to his side, hugging him while crying uncontrollably. "My baby, my little baby is back," was the only thing they managed to say. Lid felt incredibly happy and awkward at the same time. Happy for their infinite love, awkward because he had yet to get used to it, and because he didn't know if he deserved it. The real Lid, their son, had died 12 years ago, replaced by an alien mind. He knew it wasn't his fault. He didn't kill the baby, nor he had chosen them willingly. Sure, Orpal and Tryon had damned themselves with their actions, yet it was the miracle survival of the baby that had led them to those events. Lid felt responsible for breaking up that wonderful family. "Aren't you forgetting something?" Solus meddled with his train of thoughts. "Without you, your mother could have died of childbirth. Remember how weak she was at the time? If she hadn't been grief-stricken, she may have not survived, letting herself go without fighting. Not to mention that we don't know what would have happened. Orpal might as well started targeting Tista instead of you, and we both know how she wasn't able to stand up for herself. She could have died either by illness or by your sick brother's hand. I can easily see him teaching her a lesson, resulting in her condition getting worse. Sure, he would later apologize and realize his mistake, but I still think he would have gotten himself disowned. Did you somehow force him to say all those mean things to Tista, making her, your mother, and Elisa cry all the time? Did you manipulate him into sending those 5 goons to beat you to a pulp? No, it was all his doing, and he paid the price. It's much better having 2 healthy, good children instead of a hot-headed, conceited one. The only way Warple had to be happy was to be an only child. Knowing the human nature, Lid was prone to agree with her. Stealing a newborn's food, his obsessive need for attentions were all indicators of a twisted personality. Lid hadn't forgiven Orpal, nor felt sorry for him, only for his family. Feeling Tista's warm embrace, seeing her safe and happy, quickly dispelled the doubts that were clouding his mind. Saving a single Tista or Elisa was worth killing 1,000 Warples.